Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about s54 to e36 swap. I'm going to be talking about what I had to go through or what I did to make s54 engine work in my car. Couple things. A lot of people ask me, was it really worth it, and how much did it really cost me? So was it really worth it? For me, it did. I like it. Car has more power. Yes, I spent some money on it, which I'm going to be talking about that towards the end of the swap video. But there's a lot of options that you can go with. There's a lot of people do LS swap, a lot of people do 2JZ, they do 540 V8s or M3s and stuff like that. So I can go on and on about what swap you can do. But this one, I was thinking about doing a V8 from M3, but that one was a little too pricey for me to do. And this one is something that, even though there's not a lot of information on what exactly you need to make this work, there's still a lot of people done it. And from my understanding, even before I did the swap, that it was pretty much straightforward swap, that you didn't have to modify anything. And especially if you do it my way like I did, I went out and I bought a parts car or donor car, and you guys can see in this video here. This is 2001 M3 with s54 engine. It runs, it drives. I have pretty much everything, I mean, except for a couple things here and there to do the swap. And I'll show you the interior. Don't look at the side. Yeah, I know, it's bad. It's 6-speed manual. I have full interior, black M3 interior. I mean, it's a little dirty. I didn't have time to clean it yet, but it's actually, except this part right here, it's coming apart. But other than that, I mean, it's so honestly, you can go two different routes. You can piece it together, or you can do like I did, go out and buy a parts car, or again, like I said, donor car. And if you do buy donor car, like I said in the video, it's probably more than 90% of the parts that you need for the swap you have in one car. So all this stuff that I did, I'm not a professional, I'm not a mechanic, I didn't go to school for this. Everything that I know, it's pretty much from watching YouTube, Googling, watching other people do it. So please, if I make a mistake, if I call one of the parts wrong name, don't comment below, don't be hating on me. And with that said, if you know, I don't have no background with the mechanical or anything like that, and I did something like that, that means you guys can do it too. As long as you have, you know, time for it, you have a place where to work on, of course, budget, because this swap is not cheap, but you can make it somehow, not cheap, but affordable, I guess, if you go my way. And again, it's gonna be all towards the end of the video. So I guess let's start, and I'm gonna start with the front end and kind of go back, so this way it's gonna be easy for you guys to if you want to rewatch it or find like certain part to go back and watch it. And if this video is gonna be too long, probably an hour or more, I'm gonna have to break it in half, because I don't want to make it a 1 hour video. It's gonna be, again, hard for you guys to find something if you want to like rewind it or go back and rewatch it. So kind of heads up, because I really didn't want to do like 2, 3, or 4 parts of the swap video, but if it's gonna be more than an hour, I will break it in half. So kind of heads up. So let's start with the front and the oil cooler. So I'm doing oil cooler. So I got, this is OEM e36 M3 oil cooler, which I'm gonna be using. It's a little dirty, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not gonna be upgrading it just yet. It's perfectly in a good condition, working condition. You can upgrade it. I don't think you have to, because I mean this was on e46 M3, so I don't really see reason to upgrade unless you're gonna track your car and you know that you're gonna really push hard on it and you don't want to oil to overheat. But I'm gonna be using this. This was right here with the original lines. It doesn't really, it was way too low, so I'm gonna relocate it. I'm gonna put it underneath right here, under the reinforcement, the bumper reinforcement. And what I did is I took the connector off. This is it right here. Since the original lines with the hose attached to it, they're not long enough, what I did is I cut this open. You can see right here, I cut it open, and if you take this off, it's a regular hose. I mean, not regular, but it's high pressure hose that goes right here, goes on top, and it's like a pressed-in clamp or compressed clamp. So what I did is I went to Napa. I bought this. It's 4 feet, but I don't really need this much. I'm gonna cut it. But I got this high pressure. It's 350 psi hose. I'm gonna attach to this. I got new clamps. Clamp it up, and you can see this is where the lines are coming out. Where are we? Right there. 2 lines. One right here. One right here. I took this off too, right there, and it's gonna come out right about right here. So since this one doesn't really have any attachment except use the plastic cover, and even with that you can't really attach it to right here. So what I'm gonna do, it has the holes right here. There's one right there, there's one right there. I took 2 bolts, I cut it to make it look like this. So, and with this here, what I did is I'm gonna, there you go, make a hole through here. It's not gonna really do anything, any damages. It's still gonna be functional oil cooler. So I'm gonna put the nut inside, put this in, but be careful not to screw this all the way down so you don't damage this part here going across. Sorry, bad lighting. And with this here, sticking up, I can actually adjust it how low or how high I want it. I'm gonna drill the holes underneath right here. This one is gonna go inside, and again I can push it through all the way in or out, and depending on how high I want, I can adjust it depending on where the bumper cutout is gonna be. So again, this is temporarily, just for now. I really don't know what kind of oil cooler I wanted to upgrade it eventually, but since I have this, all I had to do is buy clamps and a hose to relocate it to make it work for now. So anyways, I'm gonna attach this on both sides. I also got the O-rings, new O-rings. There's 3 on there, but so this way when you put this in, you have new O-rings. So if you do take this off, those connectors, do replace these because they will leak, and you don't want to do it twice. Since it's already off, just go out, buy it. It's 50 cents each plus tax, probably whatever it came out to, and just replace it. So any O-rings, especially old ones, do replace it. So okay, I'm gonna attach, like I said, attach the bolts, attach the hoses, and be back. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. I had to use smaller bolts because with my lock I couldn't find the nuts that I needed. I needed 4 of them, so I did smaller bolts, and luckily I didn't have to drill anything because I already has holes in the reinforcement, so I just slightly move the bolts, one to the left, one to the right, and it fits right in. This is what it looks like now. Okay, the oil cooler that I used, you can see it's original OEM. There's no need to replace it with the aftermarket, even though I am kind of thinking about getting aftermarket somewhere down the road. We'll see. But it bolts up inside the bumper fine. The only thing that you have to do is get the lines or the hoses. I actually seen people reuse their original hoses from the oil cooler, so for me it didn't work. I don't know, you guys can try it and see if it works for you, but that's how I did the oil cooler. So next thing is the AC condenser. I'm not gonna be talking about the AC condenser because I'm still working on connecting the AC. A lot of people don't want AC, but I have everything done or everything connected except for I think 2 or 1 line that I have to modify the end for it, which I'm gonna be making a video for that down after I'm done with it, and we'll be talking about in that video for you guys that done AC but it doesn't work properly or it idles weird, because from the research that I did, there's a lot of people complain that AC is gonna work, but if you park or whatever the car is idling, it's gonna idle weird. So there's a little module they actually have installed already, this little box, and that's gonna help you to have the AC working right, and that helps me for the check engine light to work properly as well, because mine is 95 and that's connected to DME and then sends the signal for my cluster for the check engine light. So next one is the cooling system. A lot of people do aftermarket. I kept my e36 radiator. It works fine. It fits perfect. E46 M3 radiator will not fit in here because it's slightly like 1/4 inch wider, unless you're gonna smash the sides. But then again, even if you make it work, your engine and radiator is gonna sit too close, and your pipes or the hose is gonna be too cramped, and it's not gonna work for you. So for the hoses to keep E36, all I did is, this is E36 upper radiator hose. So all I did is I cut probably like 1/4 inch on one side and same thing on the other side to make the top one work. And for the bottom, I used same exact hose from the top E36, and same thing, I cut either the front or the back, I can't remember, and it fits perfectly, no problem. Fan clutch, it will not fit here because there's not enough room. So you have to, there's 2 options. You can do electric fan, or you can go with 318 Ti. I didn't even try it, but again, from the research that I did, supposedly they fit perfect, but I don't really like those clutch fans. First of all, they're too noisy. Second, they're not reliable. I've seen them fly off and break and, you know, damage a lot of stuff. So I went with the electric fan. It's still hooked up going inside the car, and I have a switch on it, but I'm gonna be connecting this to DME, so DME runs when the temperature goes up and down or whatever. So since it's not connected, there's not a lot to talk about it, but probably gonna make a different video for that. As far as the temperature for your cluster to read your temperature in the engine, all I did is, what I'm doing here is I got, where is it? Coolant temperature sensor for my dashboard. So, and there's a couple of different ways people do it, so and I'll show you a couple. One is you can buy this. There's a hose. There it goes. Let me put this back. It goes right here. This hose goes right here. I mean, it's the other way, but so you got cooling traveling from engine going into radiator right here. So some people do, they buy these things, they cut the hose, cut the piece out and put this in. Then you can drill this hole. This one already has the threads, but this is wrong size, at least for my car. So you cut the hole, cut the threads, put the sensor in it, boom, it's right there. Some people do, I've seen, they drill the hole in here, put sensor in here. The right way, or at least from manufacturing, the way they do it is the sensor, temperature sensor, is supposed to be on the block or on the engine before the thermostat, not the the thermostat. So I decided to take this piece, and this is, again, I'm gonna take this. This is, it's like this down there, and then you have this little adapter goes in here, and this side goes into the engine. So there's actually a little piece that you can buy. This is like $80 that looks like this. It just has these ends right here, and you can put your temperature sensor right here. So what I did, I took this to a machine shop, had them weld this on, cut the threads, and here you go. So it's gonna be on that side, put sensor in here, and it's gonna be accurate reading. And my main thing why I'm doing this is, one thing, that the temperature is gonna be pretty accurate, but the other thing is, if I do this here and then the wire is coming out, then you have to put clamps on. I don't know how it's gonna look. I mean, it'll be cleaner and nicer looking if you do this, and you're not gonna have anything on the pipe. I mean, you have a pipe here, then you're gonna have this here, and then another hose coming out. So eliminate all that. Got this, gonna put it on and get the temperature reading. I already got the plug. This one came with my wiring harness that I bought. And the last thing for the cooling is your overflow reservoir or tank or whatever you want to call it. This one is off of S54. It fits here perfectly. A lot of people buy off of Fords or different cars. It doesn't really matter which one you're going to use, as long as you can make it fit and work. The only thing that I had to buy is the hose going back to radiator, or the return line or whatever. This one fits here perfect. The only thing for the mounts I did is I cut those little flanges, or the mounts that welded on, or they were welded on e36 M3, and I hooked them up here, and it sits here perfectly. Well, it's not tight all the way. But next one is, let's talk about the headers and exhaust and secondary air pump. A lot of people do secondary air pump delete. I had to keep it because I'm in California and I have to smoke this car, and will not smoke without cats or without this. And plus, on top of it, I have to do referee inspection, which they're really picky about that. The secondary air pump, I don't know if you guys know or not, but it helps the catalytic converter to kind of warm up for first 10-15 seconds on a cold start, and then it stops working. So kept this, kept the headers with the catalytic converter. They fit perfect. I didn't even actually took it out of the engine from the beginning to the the end. It fits perfect, no problem. The exhaust from headers, well, including headers, going all the way back till the muffler, is OEM e46 M3. Fits perfect, no problem. The only thing you have to do is weld little flanges in the middle where the mount is for the chases, and then weld or come up with the muffler, whatever you desire. Like in my case, I kept all original because again, I have to get this car wrapped, so I have to keep it original at least for now. Next thing is the intake. Again, there's not a lot of options that you can go with, or at least for me, because again, I'm in California. I have to have something that's street legal, smoke legal, that has carb sticker, and the only thing that I could find is K&N that has carb sticker on it. You can't use s54 intake because the box will not fit, and same thing, you can't use e36 intake because it's small and a MAP sensor is in the wrong place and all that stuff. So you can do this one if you're trying to make it street legal, or you can go with the Roadster M series with the one that uses s54 engine. Fits perfect, no problem. The only thing that I had to modify is the heat shield because I have to have it for some reason to get it smoked. So that's that. As far as the engine harness, I have a video for that, the review and everything, so I'm not gonna talk about it a lot. The only thing that I'm gonna mention is inside or under this intake manifold, there's a wire harness, the plug that goes to your DME, and it's kind of long enough to reach your little box where the DME goes, but you have to kind of reroute it. So here's what's going on. I had to take intake manifold off because even though I really didn't want to, but this is the wire harness from the engine, and I'm trying to get it over there where the ECU is supposed to be, but it's not long enough, so I had to take everything off, and it's right here. Sorry for the video, it's kind of shitty, but so what I'm gonna do is it comes out from here and goes left, so I'm gonna flip this around, or that way, it doesn't really matter. So this one, instead of going left, is gonna go right under here, come over here, and it'll be where's my finger? Right that way, sorry, and under here. Let's see if I can get more light. So this one, instead of going this way, which is right here, flip it around, go under here. It's gonna go under and there, come out, and then go under probably right here or here. It doesn't really matter. You can probably go under right here. So get that rerouted, and it's gonna fit almost perfect. It's gonna be better than what it was before. So one of the things that I really didn't want to do is take the intake manifold off, but ended up taking it off, and actually I took it out like 20 times. But couple of reasons why. I mean, you don't have to, you can probably do it without it if you reroute the wires before you put the engine in. And the second reason why you might want to take it off is for this thing here. I honestly don't even know what this is called, but I know it has a water in it, so it goes to a heater core. So it goes from the engine, goes inside your cab or car or whatever, and this one sits behind your intake manifold and in front of the firewall, and there's not a lot of room. If you guys done even e36 swaps, or have you ever taken it out, or but you'll know there's really tight fit back there, and I actually broke a couple of them when I was doing different swaps. But when I was taking this out, I didn't really care about this because I said that, you know, I'm doing s54 swap, so I'm gonna use one off of s54, but not really, because you can't use the one off of s54 because you can see huge difference. Where is it? Different plugs. This one uses 2 hoses, this one uses 3, so you can't make this one s54 work on this swap. You have to use e36, and like I said, if you have the intake manifold off, it's a lot easier to get there and route the hoses and everything. Again, you don't have to, but it's something to think about it. But if you do take it off, kind of heads up, it's kind of pain in the butt to put this back, and that's one of the reasons people don't want to take it off, because first of all, you have to get new clamps, and when you put the intake back, the rubber connectors or whatever, they tend to cramp in and all that. You can't see it from underneath. The top one you can, the bottom you can. So when you put it on, get a little bit of oil or something, just a little bit slightly, so it sits perfect. And when you put the clamps on, make sure they're not in the way of everything, because I had a problem where I installed this, I start driving the car, and it will actually go up to 40 miles an hour and just drops to 20. It wouldn't rev more than 2,000 RPMs. The car would not drive, and I couldn't figure out. So then later we did one of the clamps, bolt or whatever, the one that you tighten, was in the way of throttle linkage. So kind of keep an eye on that if you do end up taking this off and redoing everything. Hey, what's up you guys? So hate to be a party pooper, but like I said in the beginning of the video, if this video is gonna be more than an hour, I have to kind of cut it in half. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut it in half, make it in 2 parts, and like I said, just to help you guys out on to keep track of the build and everything. So next part is gonna be coming up pretty soon, because everything's all done. So I'm gonna finish this video up, and then, well, since you're watching this already done, but I'm gonna finish the second video, and it's gonna come up hopefully in a couple days. So again, if you guys like the video, please hit thumbs up, comment below, and watch out for my next video, I guess.